combat always means a really tough test of fitness, endurance and leadership and all sorts of skills. But this time we've got some new features, and one of those new features, Anna Soubry.
But more importantly, for the first time, women will be competing. And also for the first time, there'll be 4 infantry regiments in head-to-head competition.
For combat, this wife from North Humberside teams up for England with a regiment whose roots go back over 300 years, the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers.
I'm Lieutenant Alistair Young, age 24, single, from Royston in Hertfordshire.
I'm Sergeant Jim Cousin, I'm 29, I'm married to Kim, I'm from Bolton, Lancashire.
I'm Corporal Mike Barnett Connolly, I'm 25, I'm married to Angela and I'm from Coventry in Warwickshire.
Corporal Donna Thompson, 24 years of age, married to Robert and I come from Hull, North Humberside.
My name is Fusilier Bateman, I'm 21-year-old, come from Gateshead Tiny Vale and married to Kay.
Joining up with a younger but equally heroic regiment is this international high jumper. From Scotland, nearly disbanded in the 70s, but today still belligerently very much alive, the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders.
Second Lieutenant Jamie Jurt, 24 years of age. I'm single, my hometown is Stirling.
Colour Sergeant Alistair Moran, age 33, married, 1 little boy, Christopher John, come from Campbelltown, Argyllshire.
Corporal Tommy Allen, 27, married, 1 child, 2 years old.
Corporal Jackie Gilchrist, known as Legs, 28 years old, single, hometown Falkland in Fife.
Private Remy Fellows, 20 years of age, single, comes from Grangeworth, Stirlingshire.
Helicoptering in with vehicles for her team, the youngest girl who instructs men in physical training. She joins for Wales, that country's oldest regiment, raised in 1689 and renowned today as the Royal Welsh Fusiliers.
Lieutenant Ian Cave, 24 years old, single, from Shrewsbury.
Colour Sergeant Mark James, 31, single, from South Wales.
Corporal Gary Martin, married, age 28, from South Wales.
Lance Corporal Jude Shenton, 21, single, from North Yorkshire.
Fusilier Sean Matthews, 21, single, from Nevin, Llyn Peninsula, North Wales.
And finally, dropping in for the rescue mission comes another sports enthusiast. For Ireland, she teams up with a regiment raised as recently as 1900. The youngest regiment in combat, in fact, but with proud honours from 2 world wars, the Irish Guards.
Lieutenant Harry Shapland, I'm 24, single, and I come from Henley-on-Thames in Oxfordshire.
Colour Sergeant Stevie Bell, married, come from Belfast, and I'm 33 years of age.
Lance Sergeant John Edgar, married, 20 years of age, and come from Belfast.
Guardsman Stephen Kincaid, 21, single, and from Ballymena, Northern Ireland.
Corporal Jane Errington, age 22, single, from Washington Village, Tyne and Wear.
For each regiment, those 5 will ultimately be the ones who matter, but at the start, they're supported by 5 other teammates.
And here's the plot. All 4 teams have been dropped into a foreign territory, which is dominated by an army of terrorists. Now, to prevent attack on their stronghold out in the wilds, those bad guys have taken some local people prisoner. Our soldiers have to get there unharmed, rescue the prisoners, and destroy the stronghold.
But this is a competition. It's a race against time, with penalties for any faults or failures. Now, only the team that reach the stronghold first will make the final attack, and they'll be our winners, and they'll take away with them ITV's splendid combat trophy.
Thanks. To begin with, for the men, it's a 4-kilometre run across wild, hilly ground, each man carrying 40 pounds of weight in gear and weapons. After the run, they'll have to manhandle an assault boat provided by local security forces along to a river estuary and then cross a vast lake. Altogether, they've got to slog, shove and navigate their way more than 8.5 kilometres to a specific map reference point, and that's where they have to rendezvous with the women in their unit. For England, Donna Thompson.
Now, these women, their teammates, have got to make their own way to the rendezvous point. As part of a deception plan, they and their Land Rovers were flown to a different area. What they've got to do is pick up a piece of pre-dumped equipment, a trailer, and take that, their vehicles and themselves, and meet up with the men and hand over the instructions for the next stage of the rescue mission. Well, they've got 40 minutes to complete the route. Legs Gilchrist giving the orders for the Scots. There's a 3-minute time penalty if they can't get the trailer out or if they fail in any other task. And if they miss any part of the route out, then they will incur a 5-minute penalty. Well, the Scots girls finding and retrieving their trailer without too much difficulty. 2 women on the drive, of course, but only one will go forward after they've rendezvoused with the men.
And back with the men, good news for the Welsh. The RWF leading the race to the rendezvous. The riverbed very stony, very slimy, treacherous stuff.
Right in the middle.
The boats weigh 215 kilograms. They've got to get them 350 metres to where it's deep enough to row.
Meanwhile, the Welsh women.
And Ireland, the guardsmen slowing down.
And the women completely lost. Jane Errington considering missing one of the tasks altogether, just to make the rendezvous in the time.
What do you want to do?
Hurry on, sir.
She's on her way to 27 minutes of penalties.
Let's go up, 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 up.
The men of the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. Well, the others may be taking the low road along the riverbed. The Scots have obviously decided to take the high one.
Well done, guys. Left, right, left, right, left.
Gambling on cutting the corners and overtaking the opposition.
Right, left, left.
Aye, look, the English. The Royal Regiment of Fusiliers, struggling a bit, the Irish behind them, but going a little better than they were. But back down come the Scots.
Right here.
And their gamble, well, it's paid off. The Irish in the background, the Scots beating them round the bend and launching now in 3rd place. On the big lake now, and still out in front, the Royal Welsh Fusiliers, 2.5 kilometres across.
And fast converging towards them, young Judith Shenton. The men insist on calling her Bob, after the character in Blackadder. How's that for good old male chauvinism?
Tremendous start for the Welsh.
Go, go, go.
7.5 kilometres of hills, rocks, river and lake. They've done it in under an hour and 10 minutes. Only a short run to the rendezvous. The Argylls fairly storming along now, but the girls...
A navigational error. Time lost. 31 minutes in penalties. These placings are only the men's. They may look very different when the girls' penalties are added. The rendezvous point. The first girls to arrive, the Welsh. Fastest and with a clean sheet.
So, the rendezvous have been achieved. Each team has now split up. Half stay behind to safeguard supplies and equipment. The other 5, that's 4 men and 1 woman, well, they must go on. They're the only ones that matter now.
And the positions, the drive column indicating the girls' penalties. First, the Welsh, then the English, in 3rd place, the Scots, and 4th, only 8 seconds behind, the Irish, as all those teams, 5 strong now, race on.
What's happened is this. The information received says terrorist guerrilla units are moving north to regroup. So our teams must navigate their way 20 miles by forest track to a point where they can receive further instructions. Now the area may well be booby-trapped or mined. Various tasks at checkpoints along the way. 5-minute bonuses for doing the tasks successfully. 10-minute penalties for any checkpoint missed.
Now the Welsh pick up penalties. The tasks form a series of challenges. Can you navigate? Can you drive through booby-trapped ground? Can you locate your second Land Rover left by the local militia? Can you tow one vehicle out with the other if you get stuck? And still the challenges come.
Can you change a wheel? Can you do it without a jack? The Argylls for Scotland. On the wheel, Corporal Tommy Allen.
Keep it steady, keep it steady.
Doesn't work. Try something else.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Keep it going, keep it going. Hold it, hold.
Where's the nuts? Got any more?
Behind.
Legs Gilchrist, backseat driving.
Right, somebody get your man on the trailer, get the trailer on.
And that's good teamwork. Best on the wheel, best on the team drive altogether.
Let's go.
An hour and 18.5 minutes for the 32 kilometres, tasks and all. And that's how they stand overall. The Welsh losing a bit of ground. The Irish Guards, after quite a good drive, maybe getting things together.
So more running and more water. First a speed march through a forest and then a battle swim across this huge lake. They'll have an inflatable dinghy, but they won't be inside it. No, they're going to be on the outside. They've got to secure all the equipment inside the dinghy, and then all 5 team members have to swim across.
And if any man or woman can't continue, a 15-minute penalty.
With the current and this wind, which is quite strong, isn't it? It's going to be difficult.
It's going to be very hard indeed.
Over 250 metres this swim.
Come on, Ed. Come on, we're getting there.
Go right.
Come on, we're getting there. That's good. Keep it going.
Meanwhile, for England, Donna Thompson's stuck before she even starts. But the Scots have made it.
Yes. Well done, lads.
I heard you shouting. Careful, we seem to be just dragging, coming up the sand there, so a bit of encouragement just helped us get there.
Well, you must have had some energy left.
No energy left, I can just shout any time now.
What was the current like?
Very hard. You can see the wind pushing it that way. We angle the boat slightly to give us a hand, but towards the end there we were struggling.
Come on, lads.
The Royal Regiment of Fusiliers, Lieutenant Alistair Young out in front.
Whoa! Whoa! Come on! Whoa!
Had a fast run, but Donna, the married girl, looked under extreme pressure.
Kick! Kick! Kick!
The Welsh Fusiliers also very fast on the run, threatening at the moment to close the gap on their traditional rivals.
Come on, drive!
The Welsh very calm, well coordinated, counteracting the current. It's coming from their left.
The Irish preparing. The English finishing. The Welsh still going well, considerably faster than the English, and certainly at the moment, much fresher. Alistair Young and Donna. Painful memories.
Yeah, it was very hard. Your body was warm. When you hit the water, you instantly cooled off, and then there's a danger of cramp. Your legs get very stiff. You're trying to stay upright. These things prevent you swimming on your front. You have to try and swim on your back. You get water in your mouth. It's desperate.
The guys took
You look to be struggling on that run, really struggling.
I was too heavy. Not used to running with weight. They've only just brought in my run with weight, so I haven't really trained my weight on.
Oh, man, he made it across. That's what matters.
Keep going in.
The Irish set out as the Welsh finish. And a very good time indeed.
Well done.
We're trying to aim off and sort of drift back into the finish line.
Is there any particular technique that you can use by using the wind and the current actually to help the boat along?
Maybe sailors, but I mean, I'm just a dumb soldier.
but you actually seemed to keep your line, didn't you? Because the English went way down, didn't they?
That's right.
Typical.
Just the Irish to finish.
Come on, people, come on!
The Welsh, already preparing for the next phase, have the fastest time. The Irish, the slowest.
That's me!
Dragging at your legs underneath, was it, on the swim?
Hard on the legs, definitely.
Yeah.
Did anyone give you any help at all?
Yeah, the guys pushing me all along, giving me lots of encouragement.
That's our weakest event, I think. Definitely that one there. I'm glad that's it.
And now, with all the times and penalties computed, the points for Phase 1. The Scots and Welsh tied, going into Phase 2.
Kennedy Wilfenden surround me with items of lasting value. They cater to my fine tastes and well-bred instincts.
Cream Puff by Max Factor is still as popular as ever, and now it's selling at yesterday's prices.
There are some things that you like to share. And some so good, you want to keep them to yourself. Club White. Have it your own way.
At the Texas sale, the bargains are beautiful. Like Martinique, bath, loo, basin and taps, all for under £180. This pure white bedroom set, wardrobe, chest, cabinet and bed, all for under £100. All the cabinets in this superb kitchen range, 70% off to clear. Texas, the sale that always likes to go one better.
This is today's Army. In today's Army, equipment has reached a new level of sophistication. In today's Army, our infantry have to be the best trained soldiers in the world because they could go anywhere in the world. In today's Army, firepower has to be matched by brain power. In today's Army, the territorials and regulars work as a team. Remove the TA and we lose 1/3 of our strength. To find out more about the regulars or TA, phone 0345 300 111 now. Get in on the action.
Logan's famous winter sale is now on, with massive reductions in all 10 departments. Logan's Fashions, Cloth Mills. True Style of Lisburn's famous New Year sale now on. Dining, lounge and bedroom furniture of true distinction. Wine and cheese on New Year's Day.
The whole idea of this phase of combat is to test endurance and military skills, skills performed under physically demanding conditions.
Altogether, the patrolling means nearly 40 kilometres. Hills, bogs, rocks and rivers. Very rugged country indeed. They've already been on the march since early morning. Each man carrying 75 pounds of gear and weapons, each woman 35 pounds.
The woman now leaves the others. She's been ordered to go and meet an agent who, among other things, has some information about an injured man and details of where they can find some medical equipment, including a stretcher. Meanwhile, the men slog on cross-country. Task number 1. They found a terrorist outpost. They've got to attack it, take a prisoner, and then interrogate him. Now, both the soldiers and the terrorists are using a system called SAWS, which simulates gunfire. When they fire a blank, a laser beam comes out of the end of the gun. Now, the soldiers and the terrorists are also wearing on their bodies detectors. So when they come into contact with that laser beam, it sends off a warbling sound. It means they've been hit and they're out of it. Now, those detectors are also being placed on the terrorist outpost here. They also emit a sound, and the terrorists must duck down behind the outpost.
So, the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, the joint leaders at the start of this second phase.
Yeah, then you've got to your left, cover farm, move down to your right.
Colour Sergeant Alistair Moran has decided the tactics. They've got 45 minutes to take their prisoner. If they succeed, they get a bonus of 15 minutes deducted from their time. But any man hit means a 1-minute penalty, and it invalidates the bonus, prisoner or no prisoner. The Argylls, as you'd expect, have split up. Two are the attackers. There's one of them, advancing through the lower ground. These two, on high ground, give covering fire. Remember, when the fire hits the bleepers, it keeps the terrorists' heads down and enables the attackers to move. So the plan. The covering fire comes from here. The main attackers have swung round here. One man leaves the hill as a decoy, and covering fire continues. Decoy. Attacker. Covering fire. Decoy. The main assault men nearly there. They're there. And the Argylls, with no casualties, have their prisoner. The time, 22 minutes.
And with the 15-minute bonus and a 5-minute penalty for lost kit, that computes to 12 minutes, destined to be beaten by both the English and the Welsh. The Royal Regiment of Fusiliers best at the attack on the outpost as the Scots push on to their next challenge. Now, the next phase for the Argylls is to collect some medical supplies, and in order to do that, they've got to get across this gully. Each servicewoman meets her team again here with information about the injured partisan that they've got to find, where the stretcher and supplies they'll need are, and hopefully how to get across the ravine.
See the crates in the centre there?
Yep. Yep.
Just the first level down, there's a stretcher that we must collect and take with us to the next stand. There's a pulley at the other side. We can use that to get us across. Like there's the winch here. It can lower or tighten the rope. There's loads of penalties. Do you want to know what they are? We can't lose any people. Persons, 5 minutes. Stores or weapons and they're lost. That's an additional 2 minutes. If we're not inside the box at the other side within the hour, we get an additional 5 minutes as well as the penalty. Okay? Any questions on it? No, it's genuine.
Look, stop there. Tell me off the Sergeant. Hey. Go! Stop eating, so yours!
Well, the Argylls have done it, but at what cost? Alistair Moran limping badly.
What's the trouble?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, I wicked. That was bit. I've got cramp. I've had cramp for the last couple of miles, and my legs really sore with cramp. But we got there.
The Scots' time will be beaten by the English, though not the Welsh. But they've beaten the bogey time, and, unlike the Irish, the weather.
Remember, do not step beyond that line of picket, right?
The Irish know that they began this patrol fourth and last, and that they failed at the terrorist outpost. But they have an asset, Jane
More
Errington.
strikes us. If one of you can manage to get the stretcher yourself, yeah, because it's going to take 2 years to actually pump it up, to tighten it, to raise you up again. If you're with me.
Yeah, I do certainly.
Here goes.
Okay, let him go.
Corporal Errington has presented her plan. Lieutenant Harry Chaplin has accepted it without question or delay.
Okay, take it back your way! Mind my head.
Faster than the Scots at this stage, about the same as the English. Just Colour Sergeant Stephen Bell and Jane still to cross.
That doesn't.
47 minutes, 4 seconds, the English time. Can they beat it? And the answer to that is yes. 43.30 for the Irish, and the Phase 1 leaders under increasing pressure now in Phase 2. A crucial factor combined with the skills will be speed across country. The Scots rather slow, and they've just had a bad time at the next challenge, the minefield.
Chasing up from behind are the English. Now remember, they've got to get through this minefield and they've got to find an injured man. They've got to tend him and then take him and themselves safely through the minefield. And it's full of booby traps as well.
Following my steps. The steps of the person in front of you.
So watch how you're dragging that Bergen.
Yeah, all right, all right.
You better put it on, sir, if you've got time.
If they miss a device, then they'll get 1 minute deducted. If they actually find it, then they get 2 minutes deducted. But if any device explodes, then they get a penalty of 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to bring it.
Oh! That's one device that's gone off, so that means 1 man out, and that's 10 minutes that's going to be added. Tripwire.
How does that feel?
Irrespective of bonuses and penalties, they've got to get the injured man out within 40 minutes.
Watch your bum on it.
Mine, don't put your arse on that.
Yeah.
Stop waiting.
Stop.
Trips and traps everywhere.
You know what? In fact, you've gone underneath it. Go up into the tree.
I've got spotted that, Dom.
Stop.
Right, lads, you're going to have to watch this trip wire.
Yeah.
It goes up high.
Okay, forward. Whoa, close one.
Right, Mickey, watch me going underneath you, will you?
No, get right down.
Second man gone.
Yeah, get a sticky on, dump this kit and get out. Come back. Yeah?
Me and you now.
Alright, mate.
All kit over first, then we'll go and get in.
Oh, good.
Only Donna Thompson left.
Cheers, lad. Right, mate, I'll be there in a minute.
3 minutes left and still some traps.
Right, come on. Come on.
1 minute.
Get over. Right, I'm going to throw you. Any more than you already have. Go on.
on!
Well, she's got him out. She's got to get out herself, which she does. And the time, computed with the penalties and bonuses, 1 hour, 8 minutes, 5 seconds. Better than the Argylls.
So, this team nearing the end of this endurance and skills phase. A last 3.5 kilometre march ahead. The Scots already finishing after 40 kilometres, plus challenges ranging from shooting through abseiling to first aid. Those results to be computed with that time.
And there's more concern. Alistair Moran may have back as well as leg problems.
My legs, the muscles on the top of my legs are so tight, it's unbelievable. Could hardly move them.
What happened with the back, though?
No, I've hurt my back for a long time, but just keep going.
You've done well. Look like you've done well.
Well, I hope so.
Hope so. And now for England, the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers. Well pleased and with extra cause for celebration. Donna Thompson's secret is out. She's expecting her first baby. But those 40 kilometres have been hard.
One stage today she was nearly in tears.
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
a
because
tough
she was earning
day.
that much, but she still plodded on. It was brilliant today.
Yeah, it was a great effort.
The Welsh. Now this is totally unexpected. They've shunned the road and taken a straight line, but all the way over a huge hill. Much harder, surely. And in fact, there's talk about whether it's allowed under the rules. So you felt it was quicker rather than running on the road?
Yeah.
So you made the decision before you come out the minefield, that's what you were going to do?
Yeah.
What happened in the minefield?
We had a bit of a disaster.
Yeah. How many did you set off in the end?
Oh, we lost 4 people.
Well, you may get lucky. So's every team so far.
We knew they'd lost a few, you know.
How do you think it's gone overall?
No, I think it went very well. I think if we haven't just pipped the Scotch by at least 50 minutes, I'll be surprised.
Just the Irish still in the
Hurry up,
minefield.
sir. We've got to get him across. We've got about a minute left.
Jane Errington and Stephen Bell surviving.
So we're going to have to go for it. That's it. Quickly, quickly, quickly.
Time's running out, coming up to 30 seconds left.
No, we're not going to come up.
That's it. Watch the wire.
Just the girl left again, but she's tipped the patient over. She's got to get over herself, and she's got less than 10 seconds. 6, 5, 4, she's done it. But it's the Welsh, despite their pessimism, who've won. Every team lost 4 people, but the Welsh were quickest and found more devices.
But the Irish have had a good day. Bad weather, bad light in the minefield, but that's quite a fast time. Their morale was a bit down after phase 1, but now surely they've got to think they've put themselves back in with a chance in combat.
Definitely. We deserve it. We deserve it. After the day's performance, we deserve it.
So the times, still to be computed with the skill results, of course. And the Welsh were penalised 15 minutes for that shortcut. We're nearly at the end of phase 2.
Each unit will lay up for the night. That's all except the girls, who still have a challenge to face.
Each woman now has to get fresh intelligence information. That information is in documents which are at the end of this very narrow trail. Now, they do know that there aren't any terrorists in the area, but they have to exercise extreme caution, and so must we. Hazardous by day, but the girls are literally in the dark. Booby traps to avoid, perhaps, the odd terrorist. Maximum time 45 minutes. Penalties for devices missed or exploded. One of these planks is booby-trapped. First mistake. 3 girls have finished. Donna Thompson for England the best, but Jane Errington, who was almost in tears after her drive in phase 1, she's having a good day and night. The documents are somewhere in this hut. And she's found the documents. Mission achieved, and with the best result. The night patrol finished like this. And now for the points in the phase overall. The Irish, last in phase 1, finished top in phase 2. The Welsh and Scots, leaders in phase 1, are at the bottom. The cumulative scores in just a minute.
Cupboard spare after Christmas? Thank goodness Craigavon Shopping Centre is open on New Year's Day.
Craigavon Centre, have a nice day.
Esso quality motor oils. In tests, most cats said their engines preferred them.
Economy 7 heating is smoke-free, mess-free, dust-free, and with Economy 7's new guaranteed weekly heating cost, pain-free, because Economy 7 can guarantee you a weekly price for your space and water heating starting at only £8.40 a week for a modern 3-bedroom house. For warmth that's worry-free, get high on comfort, low on cost. Call in the Economy 7.
Don't you hear them saying, read about it.
Right now, your Seat dealer has a lot extra to offer. Extra easy deals, extra exciting promotions, extra generous part exchange deals, and a range of cars that pack in an extraordinary amount of extras for no extra. So get down to your local Seat dealer extra quick.
At the Texas sale, the bargains are beautiful. Like Martinique, bath, loo, basin and taps, all for under £180. This pure white bedroom set, wardrobe, chest, cabinet and bed, all for under £100. All the cabinets in this superb kitchen range, 70% off to clear. Texas, the sale that always likes to go one better.
Jacobs proudly present a different kind of club. New Club Class. Covered in real thick chocolate, Club Class is a touch more indulgent. Note the rich, crumbly biscuit. And smooth, sophisticated topping. Club Class comes in 3 enticing varieties, including the stunning Midnight Mint. New Jacobs Club Class. Club with class.
If you want to keep the kids happy this Christmas, Argus takes care of it.
More fun, more entertainment for all the family at the Lyric Players Theatre. See our terrific production of Oliver Twist until January the 26th.
Each combat unit's now been ordered to get into position to attack the terrorist stronghold and rescue their prisoners. First, at speed, a run for the 4 men across arduous country. Then final link-ups with the service women and the rest of their units, and then the attack.
And that dash across country is against the clock. It's over 5.5 kilometres long and involves a natural and really tough assault course. But with only 2 scoring events to go, the position is this. The Welsh lead, the others 1 point behind. But the Irish and Scots have already done the assault course. The Scots with that better time. The Irish not very good and in danger of dropping out of contention. It's the first half of the final event. These times will be computed with the last activity, marksmanship.
Well, let's go. Each man carrying 35 pounds in gear and weapons.
Feet round the knots, so come on. Ready?
And a 5-minute penalty for any man who fails an obstacle.
I'm not on. I'm going to pull you over.
Alistair Young, the English officer, already in trouble.
Get off, get off, get off. Get off.
Jesus. 8 minutes gone and they've crossed 2 bridges, trekked across country, and now it's back to the river and the rope cross.
Sir, one at a time. Hurry up then.
One man's already over. Now Lieutenant Young, under orders from his sergeant.
Son, you're over!
Wrong.
Bastard!
Well, that's a 5-minute penalty. 10 minutes gone, plus the penalty, so 15 minutes. Quarter of the course completed, behind schedule. 4 minutes later, below wires. Halfway now, coming up, the dreaded weir. Sergeant Cousin is going well, and so he should. He's a triathlete and a lifesaver, and unabashed by the rope cross shambles, he's still shouting the orders, irrespective of rank.
Take the right and right! Get a move on!
The English Fusiliers losing cohesion. The gap between first man and last is 75 metres. 40 minutes gone, the slowest time so far. Nearly the end.
Come on, keep going! Well done!
Now with the obstacles behind them, they run on a meet-up with their servicewoman.
You can't get in!
She's recovered a Land Rover and she will use that to rush them up to this point. And that's when the clock will stop. And it's from this point that the attack will develop.
Come on, sir! Get in! Come on, go! Well done, Bigger. 31 minutes!
Get it over the box!
The finish! But those wheels must be over the line.
Come on, get in!
So, the results of the assault course so far. Disaster for the English, good news for the Scots. One team to go, the Welsh.
Come on, Matt! Come on, sir, dig in now, come on! Have we go, Matt? Yeah. Yes, fine, okay. Other way, go, go! Left foot, that's it, hold on, sir! Come on, sir, dig in! Come on, sir, don't worry about your legs!
It all depends on the drive. And the Welsh time was 32 minutes 33, fastest over the assault course by 3 seconds. Cumulatively, the points remain these, but those assault course times will be combined with the scores in the final activity.
It's an attack on a terrorist bunker which stands between our teams and their ultimate target, the Stronghold.
And this will now decide the final winner of combat. That winning team will be the one that, after all the scores have been computed, will have been the quickest, suffered the least penalties and shown the most skill.
During the attack, the teams will be reinforced by their other 5. Let's call them the B teams, the ones who stayed behind in Phase 1. But first, the close quarter battle stage. The main team moves along the road on foot and by vehicle to clear the way. Against time, hits on target earn 10-second bonuses, misses mean 1-minute penalties.
I can't see it!
Pretty good close quarter shooting by the Welsh, 10 hits.
Okay. Stand up.
English and Irish have already attacked and registered only 7 and 6 hits respectively in the close quarter stage. It looks as though combat's going to be won by the Welsh or the Scots. Just 1 hit in it. Now here's where the B team enters the fray. Guarding the bunker is another forward bunker. The main team must fire mortars to knock it out, allowing the B team up to the high ground to clear a hill of terrorists. That in turn enables the main 5 to advance through a valley and attack. First a vehicle, then the main bunker.
Slightly right. No, slightly right. Slightly right. On.
The Argyle's mortar team.
Shot. You can see it? Yep.
Trying to knock out the forward bunker. The others wait concealed below till that's been achieved. It's a test of fieldcraft, shooting, everything. The forward bunker's out, and the hits, the Argyle's 3, the Royal Welsh Fusiliers 2. All still very much in the balance as the mortar men scuttle away and the B team advances up the hill. Here you can see the bunker and a vehicle, which also has to be knocked out. The main aim from here is to engage any terrorists on the hill opposite and to give covering fire, then mortar smoke to enable the other 5 to move round into their final firing position. It's still the Argyles.
They're going in!
Yes, the main 5 going in under that covering fire. First, the vehicle. So, no problem for the Scots. What can the Welsh do? Same tactics, same weapons of course, same targets, same sort of vehicle. And the same accuracy. And now for the terrorist bunker.
So, the bunker's been taken by the Argyles and the Welsh. The hits have been calculated, very close between Scots and Welsh. But overall, points victory in combat will be decided only when they've been computed with times taken.
Believe it or believe it not, the result is a tie, a dead heat. Now, the rules state that if it ends a dead heat, then the winners of Phase 3 are the winners of combat. The winners of Phase 3, the Argyle and Sutherland Congratulations, lads. Well done, Jamie Dewar, Raymond Fellows, Les Gilchrist, Alistair Moran and Tommy Allen.
Everything? So there it is then, the Scots coming through to win combat, despite that disastrous skills and endurance test. So how did the other teams do? Well, in 4th place, the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers for England. In 3rd place, the Irish Guards. And in 2nd place, the other half of the dead heat, the Royal Welsh Fusiliers. And our winners, of course, the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. And it's to them that the honour of the final attack goes. There it is, that's the stronghold where the terrorists are and where the prisoners are being held. Argyles have followed the Paras as winners of combat.
In military and competitive terms, mission accomplished.
Don't forget this, don't forget the trophy.
Well done, boys. See you back home.